Anyone else addicted to buying napkins? Well, I certainly am. I just love them ever since I was a little girl. And I want to share with you what I actually like to do with them. Not just decoupage or gluing them, but I want to share some other ideas on how you can use them in your junk journals or other creative crafting projects. Hello everyone, it's Dragana from Saacibo. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another junk journal inspiration video. I won't be making anything, but I want to share with you what I like to do with my napkins. Let's just look at the napkins first. They come in different sizes. You have large ones like these. Then you have smaller ones, which are still quite large. Then even smaller ones. They come in a variety of sizes. Sometimes they're cut in interesting shapes, like these round ones. This one in the shape of a leaf. That one in the shape of a heart. This one as well. That one. Yeah. And they usually have 2 or 3 plies. Like these ones are all 3. I think these were 2 plies. Okay. And I like to use every ply of the napkin. I usually buy napkins in craft shops. They sell them by piece. Some online craft shops sell them by piece. And I also keep my eye out when I'm in a supermarket or any sort of general store that might sell things for the kitchen. You can usually get a whole pack, and if they have a sale, it's even better. That's how I got these. And yeah, you can send them in Happy Mail, use them in your art. And what you don't use in your art, you can always use in the kitchen, of course. Anyway, when we talk about napkins, the first thing that comes to mind is decoupage, which is gluing the napkin onto a surface. And in today's video, we will cover that, but there are other ways to use the napkins apart from decoupage. And I will go through all these ideas, especially the ones that I practice a lot. Okay, but let's just start with decoupage, the most obvious one. You can glue napkin on paper, cardstock, cardboard, but also on fabric, wood, plastic, and glass. And I want to give you an example of as many of these as I can. When I first started using napkins in junk journals, this is what I was doing. Gluing them onto scrapbooking paper, especially one-sided scrapbooking paper, the one that has a white on one side and a pretty design on the back. That was a quick way for me to have these papers double-sided, and the medium-sized napkins are actually ideal for that. Just use your glue stick and you glue the napkin onto a paper. If you have a nice napkin, especially if it's the one that has a design that's like a one hole rather than 4 sections, you can have lots of pretty papers really quickly. Now on this one, I glued the white part of the napkin on top of an existing design. I'm not sure if you can see that. And I used white glue here. I wanted it to have a bit of a texture. In this example, again, I used white glue and I did a proper decoupage where you put the glue first, you put the napkin, then you put the glue on top. So you have a bit of a texture as well as a design, and it's a quick fix for these one-sided papers. Now over here, I had a paper that was green with white dots, and I wasn't really too happy with it, so I decided to just glue this black and white napkin on top. So the white parts became translucent and the black stayed as if it's a drawing. So basically I got a different paper and I really love it now. Also, if I had little pieces left, I would kind of do like a masterboard with napkins. This is also scrapbooking paper, and I didn't like the design that was underneath, and I had these bits and pieces of napkins left, so I just made a masterboard with it. So there you go. You can also glue napkins onto any papers. Like I have this paper that is dyed with rust, and I had that napkin, and that way you end up with a interesting background as well, and you make your paper a little bit tougher. What's really great about napkins, once you add the glue, they tend to become see-through almost, and you can make that work to your advantage. You can also glue napkins onto book pages, like I have here. This is just an old book page and that napkin, and then I've done quite a few of these, and I just have an example here of how you can further use those book pages. I have this kind of like journaling card with a pocket. I have this tag, and I made this bookmark, the little bee, and a tiny little tag with a bee. That's one way of making those book pages more interesting. You keep the text, you put the design on top, and then you use it as you would use any other paper in your projects. I really like that. Oh, I have another example here. That was another napkin that was glued on the book page and then cut into a tag shape. All right. And then here I have one that I glued on top of this dyed envelope. So some of the background is coming through and it looks really interesting. I'll probably cut it out and use it somehow in my journals. These ones here, they were butterflies that I cut out from the napkins and then glued onto cardstock to make these little charms. I just want to show you a few examples. Okay, I have here the ones that I've turned into like pockets with book page and the napkin on top. You can see that one there is glued into a journal and it is a pocket. So that's one way of using them as well. It doesn't have to be just tags, it can be pockets. Then I have example here of this one here. As you can see, I had this botanical print that kind of bled through the back and didn't look really nice, so I just used this napkin again to cover that area and make it look a little bit better. So quick fix. And a few more ideas on using napkins in masterboards. This is a napkin here, that there. This masterboard I turned into a journal cover. I have one more example in here. There are pieces of napkins. It was Van Gogh napkin that I used. That's why this is so like Van Gogh inspired. Starry, Starry Night. I have a video on that. So I used parts of napkins to create this journal entry. They're really great to add to your drawings, your paintings, your collages. So much you can do with them when it comes to gluing them onto paper or cardboard or cardstock. Some of you might know this. You can decoupage napkins onto fabric. Did you know you can do that? Well, for sure you can. I have a few examples here. Let's say you have lots of white or plain looking fabric and you have lots of napkins, but you want to have nice fabric as well for your journals. Well, you can do that. You can use white glue, or you can buy glue that's specifically made for decoupaging napkins onto fabric. I tried both. Honestly, it works just the same. No need to get anything special. Just use white glue, white craft glue. And if you have to do 2 layers, once it's dry, iron from the back, but use a piece of paper or baking paper or something so it doesn't get stuck to your iron. This is kind of like satin fabric, and I glued this napkin on top, and I really love it. Now it's a bit firmer. I can even make a journal or something with it, or make it little pouches. In here, this one that was done on cotton is much firmer in a way than this one. And here, this is just a painting canvas that's stretched on little cardstock, and I decoupage this and it looks really nice. So this was done on top of a surface that was already covered with gesso, but it's a canvas, it's a fabric that's covered with gesso, and you just glue that on top, and these were just straight onto a fabric. You can do that. So I'd say idea number 3, you can decoupage onto wood. And I have here these sticks, wooden sticks, and I decoupage these napkins on top to create bookmarks. And I just stamp this with friends forever. And yeah, these are just little gifts for my friends who are perhaps not into junk journaling, but they still like to read. And I have these as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but yeah, I just had to try. So you can decoupage on wood. That includes wooden buttons, wooden charms, beads, anything made out of wood. I also use just white craft glue for these. Okay, so you can decoupage on wood. Now you can also decoupage on things that are plastic, for example, on buttons. These buttons were altered with napkins. I hope you can see. Just try to bring them closer. Again, I used white glue. Okay, if you have lots of buttons that are not really nice or you don't like them, you can change them by gluing napkins on top. You can glue on this type of plastic. These are just plastic sleeves for documents. And I just want to show you quickly a few examples. That's one napkin that's been glued onto that and left on it. I didn't peel it off. I left it like that. This one as well. It's still on that plastic. Now it's more durable than just a napkin. Napkins are really fragile. If you even look at them wrong, they can just break. When you apply them on plastic like this, they stay see-through, and that's what I love about them. I just want to show you a few more examples as well. It's see-through napkin now. That is a bit tougher, this one as well. Now, I've done these with just white craft glue, and then I've done this one with acrylic gel matte, and I just want to show you the difference. This one's more shiny and this one's more matte. This one peeled off the plastic immediately after it was dry. I just had to pull on one corner and it just peeled off. So on the back it looks shiny, but there's no plastic on the back. This was peeled off the plastic. This stayed on the plastic. So whatever you prefer as your final result, use either gel matte, acrylic medium, or use white glue. Also, if you have one of the transparency films, also called acetate sheets, you can decoupage on them as well. And this is what I have here as an example of that. I glued this napkin onto acetate sheet, so it's kind of firm. And then I cut it with my scissors, and I just use this white recycled packaging as a backing, and I think they look really cute. So you can decoupage on acetate sheets as well, whether they're new or recycled from any sort of packaging, it's fine. You can do that as well. And I'll just give you a few examples in journals and with ephemera. I cut one layer of this flower with that paper. It looks really cute, I think. And I made these kind of like index cards with these. Turn those into little pockets. Put some papers inside. These book pages at the back. I think they look really cool with that. Here's this one. Okay, so you wouldn't be able to do this with a napkin as it is. You would have to kind of make it tougher somehow. Just want to show you examples in a journal. I had a strip left and I turned it into a little ruffle, so it can go in a journal, for example here. And then here I have one of those that I've done with acrylic gel, this one, and I basically cut out this and turned that into a little like a belly band. Look how pretty that is. It's a little bit see-through and it's got lovely texture. Listen to that. And I think it looks just so pretty. You can put things behind. I glued it down just with double-sided tape. Okay, you can use these in journals in a variety of ways if you decoupage on any sort of plastic that is see-through. But it doesn't have to be see-through, it can be in color. For example, you can decoupage just on white plastic as well. You know, nothing stopping you from that. But I'm just mainly showing examples that are related to junk journals. You can also decoupage napkins on glass, and you can decoupage on this material, which is, it says here, foam craft balls. All right. And one of my viewers, lovely Alessandra, showed me how she loves to decoupage napkins onto these styrofoam bowls to create Christmas decorations, and they looked amazing. So the other day I was in a shop and I saw this and I thought, I have to have it. I want to try. I haven't tried yet, but maybe for next year I'll do some Christmas decorations with the napkins and these ones. So lots of ways to use your napkins by just simply gluing them onto different surfaces. Have you ever tried laminating napkins? Apart from gluing the napkins on a variety of surfaces, you can also laminate napkins. And when you laminate them, you can do so much with them. I had this laminating machine, I don't know, for years, probably 20 years or something. And I mainly use it to create specimens, real specimens with leaves and plants like this one. However, you can make specimens, gorgeous specimens, with your napkins. If you have a napkin that has a design that you can cut out, like these butterflies, I was able to cut them out and then I laminated them, and then they become see-through. They turn into gorgeous specimens. Look at that. I'll just do like this on the white so that you can see better. So these were made with napkins. These butterfly specimens were made with napkins. I think I have a part of that napkin to show you somewhere. This is what I mean. I only used one part. Look how many I can make. Could just cut out these, and I only used one ply. Okay, it's easier to cut when it's like this in all three together. I would cut and then peel off the second and the third layer, and then use just that, laminate, and then make specimen cards. The same here with these roses. As you can see, I used only 3 of them. Here they are. I have the third one. So I cut them and laminated them and turned them into cute specimen cards. I mean, who wouldn't want this in a journal? I don't know. I love roses and I love butterflies. So I think if you happen to find a napkin like that, it's perfect to be used as specimens. I found one with these cupcakes. How gorgeous are these? And then I just fussy cut them around, and I could use them in a journal. I put double-sided tape, but I haven't glued it anyway because I actually don't have a cooking journal started. But once I do, if I do it sometimes, I will definitely use them in a cooking themed journal. All right, so that's when it comes to making specimens with your laminated napkins. Another thing, you can make little books. You can actually make full journals. If you do the full A4 size, you fold in half, you end up with a journal cover. And here I had some scrap paper and I turned these into little booklets, and I added charms, and I can write my notes. I can give them to people. This one has a closure. Look at that. So cute. I'll tell you a secret. I like to write my passwords into books like these. Here I made some coasters for glasses. Cut them with scissors, and I really love them. You can make placemats as well. And wouldn't that be nice to include in a journal? If you're doing journals for sale, You can make several, and they're easy enough to slide inside of the journal so that your journal has a little kind of practical thing in it as well for the user to be able to take that and put their cup of coffee or tea when they're drinking it. Then over here, oh, I love these. I used full A4 sheets of laminated napkins, added the lace and these snap buttons to create these pouches. And you can use these for so many things. I mean, the possibilities here are endless. You can use them as pencil cases. You can use them as ephemera holders. You can send them in happy mail. You can use your various bits and pieces like lace, clusters, tags. You know, you can make a lot of these in different color and maybe organize some of your embellishments and ephemera. I was kind of making them to match like this and thinking of giving to some of my friends as gifts. A bookmark, a pouch, and a little notepad. Why not? And matching gifts. Who wouldn't want that? I would. I don't know. Okay. I have another example here. I've laminated this napkin that was in 4. So I had this bunny 4 times in the same napkin. And I cut it like this. And I have it in here in this journal. I just want to show you what I've done with it. Here it is. I've turned it into a little side pocket. I use double-sided tape. I think it's really cute. You could leave it like straight, you know, cut it straight with the whole design. This napkin had butterflies here, these ones, that I actually cut into these shapes and turned into charms. And I love these as well. This one's cut with a different shape. Okay, so that was from the same napkin because it had like a couple of butterflies here and there. I think I destroyed one by accident. If you have a napkin with a nice image that otherwise you would have to glue to the page, you can laminate it if you have a laminating machine, of course, and then turn it into a pocket or a belly band or any sort of element for your journal that you can think of. Oh, I think you're gonna love this one. Did you know you can make washi tape with your napkins? All you need is a bit of double-sided tape. And you can make your own washi tape with napkins. Got this one. That one. I think I used the whole napkin here. Look at that. One as well. Then I have some shorter pieces. This is a really white double-sided tape. And I have this one here with that same napkin with these. Okay. You can make your own washi tape and I think it's really good. It's got the nice texture as well. You just peel it off and you glue it into your journal or somewhere, wherever you want. I'll just give you an example. Let's say I want to glue a piece of that washi tape here because I have that napkin glued onto the page and maybe I can have a little bit here. So I would just cut it. Peel it off. Now with this double-sided tape, it's a lot stickier than regular washi tape, so you have to work slowly. Don't peel it all the way because once you put it down, you're not going to be able to take it off. There you go. All done. Glued to the page. Another thing you can do with napkins is wax them. Use just beeswax or soy wax or candles and your hot iron and apply wax to them to make them see-through and a bit oily, and they're a little bit tougher that way. just give you a few examples. I've done this in one of the videos from I think 2 years ago. I will link it down below so that you can see the whole process. I actually liked the result so much. Now this one I waxed with all 3 plies together, so it's a little bit thicker, and it can actually be bound inside of the journal. And I tried waxing some of the white parts of the napkins as well. I like that too. It almost looks like vellum paper. And there's this one as well. This one turned really tough. Probably used quite a lot of wax. So that's what you can do with them as well. You can add wax and make them translucent. And I don't have many examples of use, but I have these 2 cards, and you can see that there's a book page behind and just craft paper on the back, so you can write here. And this is just stitched to the card with a sewing machine. Normally you wouldn't be able to stitch just plain napkin onto a paper, it would tear. But once you add wax to it, it becomes a little bit tougher, it becomes see-through, and it's got lovely waxy texture. And I have those 2 to show you. And then I also have these 2 examples. This part here, that is the wax paper, the white one actually. And then here as well, these 2 layers are wax paper. I love adding different papers to these flowers when I make them. You know, not just in terms of color and design, but also in terms of texture, thicker, thinner, see-through. You know, I think it makes the final result more interesting. So yes, you can wax napkins just like you can wax regular paper. It must have been almost 2 years since I've done this faux botanical handmade paper with napkins, glue, and some leaves and plants and seeds. I've only got a few left. I haven't made them for a while, but I have a few examples, a few leftovers, and they're really tough and they're holding really well. Okay, after 2 years they're still okay. These are some of the things that I've been making with them. Envelopes. I cut them up, but I haven't glued them, I think. So these ones as well. This one's quite tough. I have this little butterfly. This is a handmade paper, the real one, and these 2 layers are with these papers. Then I have this flower as well, and these 2 that I've just shown you earlier, they have also this faux botanical handmade paper in one of the layers. Okay, I have a few examples in journals I just want to show you. Okay, I have this example here. That's one of those faux botanical papers. There's this one here too. You could possibly write on that as well. Here I had a little piece left, so I made a little paper ruffle. So yeah, that's how you use your faux botanical handmade papers in various different ways, either to make embellishments, to make envelopes, to include in journals as pages. Yes, just make ruffles, other interesting bits for your journals. And the last idea I have for you is, I have to say, the one that I've grown to like the most. It's making handmade paper with napkins. It's still quite fresh in my mind because this is what we've done quite recently. So these handmade papers were made with starch, iron, coffee, and napkin ghost prints. The parts of the napkin that you normally throw away, the white or the middle part that has a little bit of color, but it doesn't have a full complete print. And I have a few left here. I've already used most of them. This one even has some gauze between. Look how lovely that looks. And that was so much fun. I have a video on how to do that. I will link all these videos down for you. For all the tutorials that I have, I will link them down. For the ones that I don't have, I will try to do sometime in the future. Here are the examples in case you haven't seen that video. These are the examples of what I've done with those papers. I made those large envelopes. There's a video on that as well, how to make those large envelopes. And I made a few pouches, some of these, and covers for these little booklets, all with that handmade paper made from napkins. Before that video, I've shown you how to create handmade papers with napkins using Sizzix. For those of you who have Sizzix, there's a way to make these with Sizzix. Although now that I've tried both versions, I love this one because it's smooth, but I love this one because it's textures. Honestly, I can't decide which I like better. But in any case, there's 3 videos altogether on how to make these papers. So we'll link them down below and you're welcome to check them out if you're interested. Yeah, so there's just so many things you can do with napkins. And perhaps there are more that I haven't thought of now. And if you're happy to share with us what else you like to do with your napkins, please leave a comment below or join our Facebook group and share with us. We love to share what we do. I hope you enjoy this video and I hope it gave you lots of ideas on how to use your napkins creatively in your junk journals or in your other craft projects. Thank you so much for watching and I hope I see you soon in my next video. Bye for now.